Let me actually share with you guys who's going to be in front of you all today. Most of you guys know my name is Sonia Atchison. I reside right here out of Atlanta, Georgia. But the gentleman that actually has taken out of his precious time to train us on this BFYL, Build for Your Legacy app today, we're super, super excited to have him to come before us today. His name is none other than Mike Pettick. Listen, he actually has been in the industry of direct sales network marketing, guys, since he was 18 years old. He's still like he's 18, so that's probably just 1 year, right? And but guess what? He's helped a lot of people in our industry, guys. And you know what? He is living his best life. Everybody type in best life. He is living his best life, guys, out there in Mexico. So you know what? He's having fun in the sun, you know? So listen, we need to go down there where he's at, right? So let me turn it over to none other than Mr. Mike Pettick, guys. Let me go ahead and make him the host on here today, guys, because I want you to make sure, guys, you have your notepad. You're ready to take some copious notes, guys, because all of us are ready to take our business to the next level. So hold on one moment, Mike. Let me make you the host. Okay, there you go. Thank you. And thank you so much for taking out your time today.
Thank you so much, Sonia, and welcome to each of you. Hello, TLC family. It is exciting to always be with you. And on behalf of your incredible leadership, Greg, Lanika, and Twyler, thank you for having me. And I'm excited. I'm always pretty excited. For those that know me personally, is because every day you wake up, you better be excited. If you're walking, seeing, hearing, and talking, that's what you've got to be grateful for. And sometimes business may not be going the direction we want. And sometimes our kids aren't listening to us the way that we want. And other things in our life may be happening. But if you're alive, awake, and you're on this call, you should definitely be grateful. And I know many of you are. And so thank you for allowing me again to come on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to really do a couple things today for you, to all of you legacy builders out there. And a few of the things I'm going to do. One is I'm going to get into your heart a little bit. We're going to have a heart to heart. There's a time where it's called March Madness, and that's when the coach sometimes is in the locker room and he must take those elbows against the locker room a couple times and wake the team up a little bit. And not that there's no any reason to wake you guys up, because I know you're in full momentum. It's inspiring to hear the stories around the industry. You guys are at the top of the top. A lot of people are respecting what you're doing, the build that you guys are building. And so, but I do know this, is that sometimes we can get lost in the understanding that one way that we're doing something is working. But the question is how long will that work for without a stable system? How long will your way, right? We call it your way. And maybe it's your way because you've learned from some great leaders and stuff. And there's nothing that I'm going to show you today that's going to take away from the basic fundamentals that you use to build your business. But what I'm going to encourage each of you to do is to really start leading by example with the application. Because what I believe is that each of you on this call understands some of what this can do, but I don't know if you fully realize that your team, in my training today and at the very end, so I hope you stay on. I would text some people right now that are supposed to be on here if they're not, because the first couple minutes, I'm just gonna highlight the app. So if you know how to use the app, these first couple minutes, then maybe you wanna start building for this call now, although you should have been doing it last night, but it's okay. We'll let you build right now for these next 2 minutes. Because here's at the end of this training, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show these individuals that are on the call how by the end of December of this year, your organization, I don't care right now if you have one person on your team, that doesn't matter. As long as you're committed here, I want to show you how your organization by the end of the year can do it on somewhere between 150,000 exposures and 300,000. Now think about that. I'm going to show you something, a formula that can help each of you on this call with 3 to 5 people on your team by the end of the year do 300,000 new exposures without even buying a lead. Is that not amazing or what? So yes, it's time to text your teams, tell them to get on, especially your core group, right? We all got big teams, but we all work with about 5, 10, 15. Some of us like Greg, Lanika, and Twyler, we got to work with a couple hundred because we got a big team. But for most of us, it's a couple dozen people or less. And so make sure you text them so we can get on. Right now, I'm just going to pull up my application real quick. Let me share my screen. Can you make me the host one more time for me? As soon as you do that, just give me a thumbs up. And then I'll pull up my application. And it's good to see some of you. Some of you got your coffees and your teas. Some of you are driving. And I love to always see the commitment on a Saturday morning for each of you showing up. But it's your future. And so it's always good. There we go. It's always good to show up for your future, right? It's nobody else's future but yours. All right, give me a thumbs up. You can see my screen. You can see the app. Okay, and then I'm going to touch a button real quick. Let me know that you saw that it moved to a different picture. Is that good? Did it move? Okay, perfect. The other day it got frozen on me. So awesome. Okay, we are all set up. So here's what I'm going to do, just to give you a quick rundown of the agenda today. The very first few minutes here, I'm going to go very quickly. I'm just going to touch the application. I'm going to touch some of the buttons, make sure you know what they're used for, how to use them, the purpose of them, and do a quick high level. There's great tutorials in the coaching section that you can always go back and reflect on if I go a little fast or if I'm moving and talking kind of quick, because I want to get to what I call the good stuff, right? And if you're in the chat feature right now, type in good stuff if you want me to hurry up and get to the good stuff, right? Let's get over this basic stuff and let's get to the good, the meat and gritty of it all. So I'm going to talk about leading by example for you as leaders to be on the leaderboard. I'm going to pull up the leaderboard. I'm not going to call anybody out because I don't do that. I'm not that kind of coach. I'm a fun coach, but I will be fun and get the points across of how you need to increase those numbers. And so we'll talk about that. The other thing we're going to talk about is teaching you how to get brand new folks started properly. If all of you will understand, we're getting a little background noise, so if you're on, make sure you mute yourself out because we can hear your background. I remember one time I was young and still learning this industry, and I'm driving through McDonald's ordering food, and I'm on a conference call, and they can hear me ordering everything. So be careful when you join these calls. Make sure you're always on mute, especially you out there yelling at your children all the time now. I'm listening. The fourth thing we're going to talk about is pick 3 to 5 people on your team. So start thinking about this now as I go through this training. I want you to identify 3 to 5 people that you're going to run with on this project that I'm going to give us on increasing activity. That's all I'm going to talk about. Because here's my message to you this morning. No matter how great your company is, no matter how terrific your leadership is, which they're the best of the best, by the way, no matter how great your products are, and they're incredible, no matter how great your social media platform is and your followers and all that, at the end of the day, the most important thing outside of personal development, because to me, personal development is the most important thing because you can use that in every area of life and you can grow better as a mom, as a father, as a coach, as everything, as a child. Personal development's number one always. But outside of that, when we're talking about building, making money and building teams, which we're all here to do, activity is the most important thing in your organization. You can't argue that because check this out. Without activity, no product is ever sold. There's no money then if there's no product sold. Without activity, nobody's ever recruited into your organization. So without activity, you're telling me that there's no sales and there's no recruits. And how many of us agree? Drop a 1 in the comments if you believe that activity is the most important thing. Just drop a 1 because no product is sold and no one's recruited without it. So if that's true, which it is, and we all agree on that, I can see the comments coming in now, then we must start to really focus on increasing our activity, but also knowing that we're increasing our activity, seeing the results differently than what you've seen in the past through this application, all right? So we're gonna double down and talk all about this today, all right? So here we go. I'm excited. You know why I get so excited? Because over the last 4 years that I've been involved with this incredible software company, I have watched organizations adapt some of my philosophies and beliefs of how to really increase activity. Those that did it exploded their business. And I mean exploded. And that's what each of you have the opportunity to do, because my challenge is going to go from today, starting today, till the end of the year. It's a very focused challenge to get 300,000 new exposures, all right? So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dive through the app real quick. I'm gonna touch every button, okay? Just so everybody knows, and many of you already know, but there's some brand new folks on here. I'm gonna touch every button to make sure you're clear on how to use the application, right? So the very first thing is how do we add new contacts to the mobile app, all right? The very first thing is at the bottom, there's a little gray circle and it's a plus button with a lady's head. Okay, I'm gonna click that. That's going to take me to what is our form to get information into the application for a contact. Now you have a couple different options here, okay? Be very clear because I do want to address this up front. With this application, I want every one of you to know, so we're not confused. You can use this for Facebook, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, Instagram Messenger, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, your communication through text, email. I don't care. However you are talking to your prospects, you can use this app. So there's no excuse in saying, well, Mike, it doesn't work for Facebook. Yes, it does. It works better for Facebook probably than anything. It don't work for it works for everything. All right. So we got that clear. Text message, email, social media, WhatsApp, all the good stuff out there, it can be used for. So now what I want to talk about is how to add a contact. There's two ways to do it. One is at the very top right-hand corner, you just hit import. This will import your contacts over from your telephone. Now you can select 10, 20, 30 at a time. You can't do them all at once, and you don't want to do them all at once. Why? How many of us agree? And if you do agree, drop a 2 in the comments. There are a few people that are our friends and family. We don't want them in our business. We don't want them to know nothing about our business. I don't want to send them a sizzle video, a survey. I don't want to know the name of my company. And so we all agree on that. There's a few people in our phone that we don't need to be communicating with. We love them, but we don't need them in our business. So as you go through and you select the contact, some of you are veterans on the call, so you've already done this part. What my message to you is for brand new people. Every new person that joins our team, we want them in a game plan interview, if you're doing them now over Zoom or whatever your format is of getting a new person started. I hope that no matter what your system or format is, that you're in communication with your new people. If you're sponsoring someone, it is your job to make sure they get off to a good start. Okay, we can't guarantee them anything because they got to do the work. But what we can do is help them at least get these contacts imported over to the app. And then the second part is once we get them in the app, I'll talk about what to do with it. But the other part is you might be meeting people on Facebook or Instagram and you don't have their phone number or you don't even have their email. That's okay. You can put a contact in by just their name. Okay, just Tom. So I have no email, no phone number. I'm going to save it. Contact was saved. Now, always ask, do you want to schedule a reminder for this? Why would you not want to set a reminder? There's nothing negative by helping yourself because you're busy, you're living life, you're raising kids, you're going to church, you're working a full-time job. It's great to set a reminder. And when you schedule that reminder, it automatically syncs to the calendar in your phone that you're currently using. So it's all set up for you. So it's great to teach our new folks to follow this process. Why? Because every brand new person who joins our team, whether they had experience in network marketing or they've never had experience, we want to teach them the basic fundamental habits to be a great networker. There's a few simple things that we all can agree on. One of them is follow-up is important. You can expose all day long, but if you're not going to follow up, which we all know the saying, the fortune's in the follow-up, then we need to help our teams be better at following up. And so that's why it's great to set a reminder. I'm going to say not now just because I'm for purpose sakes. So now here we are. I got the person Tom here. I didn't have his phone number. I didn't have his email. But when I click on his profile, and every one of you always can evaluate a prospect and all of the information you have on that prospect by just clicking on their name right there. So this is what we call the profile of a prospect. It gives you, if you had the phone number, it would be there, the email if you had it, but let's pretend we don't have anything. So now all of you see that it says send resource. Okay, when I click send resource, let's go under product and let's just go click peek real quick. And let's just say I wanted to send this sizzle video. You see that I can't email this prospect. Why? Because I don't have an email. I can't text message them because I don't have their phone number. But how many of us see that other black circle that's lit up and it's black? That will take us to our social outlets, to what we're probably many of us are communicating with is going to be Facebook Messenger, right? It's almost as valuable as text messaging today. If you can have your Instagram one pulled up, whatever it is that you're using, it's your applications on your phone, so make sure they're turned on. But listen, now that I can go to Messenger and I can send this sizzle video, I'm going to be able to know that when I send it, going back here, I'm going to be able to know under the activity log that the prospect got the video. It got sent properly. Then I'll be able to see if they clicked on it. Then I'll also be able to see if they actually watched it and how much of the video they watched. Well, why is this important? Some of you already know this. You're saying, Mike, come on, I know this stuff. That's fantastic. But are you teaching this to all of the people on your team? The knowledge for you to have it and your team not know about it is basically saying, I don't know about it, right? So communication's everything. So you want to teach your teams to follow up with people that are actually looking at the videos. Not to say the people that are not looking to just ignore them, but don't put time, energy, effort, stress, worry, cries, tears, or anything behind those prospects. Let your emotions go because they're not even looking at the info yet. So don't be upset. Don't be discouraged. It is a numbers game. If you talk to a few more people, somebody's going to look at the video and your activity log will show you that. Okay. So I'm going to go back here though. Let's go back to the home screen. So we just talked about how to add a contact, just clicking there and either doing it by their name or always trying to get as much information as you can, right? Because you're building your own database. Here's what I love about this software. I don't own your contacts. If you leave and go to real estate, those contacts are your contacts, okay? And don't leave, don't ever leave and go to real estate. I'm just using that as an example. That's a horrible mistake. Use your money that you make at TLC and invest in real estate, but do not go to real estate. There's no residual there. But my point is that you own the contacts. TLC doesn't own the contacts. I don't own the contacts. Greg, Lanika, Twyler, we don't own that. We don't want to. That's yours. There are softwares that do try to own your data. That's scary. Don't get involved with that stuff. But it's important for you to know that you're building your database, and that database is so valuable. They say it's as valuable as oil is back in the day used to be, right? So that's how you add a new contact. Now I'm going to just quickly kind of touch some of these other pieces here. What people always ask me is, what do the numbers mean at the top, Mike? And those numbers are everything. And this is my point of kind of doing my locker room talk with you guys, because I know that some of you are using the app. But I also know, because I have a dashboard of the total numbers of the team and legacy builders, some of y'all ain't using this app. And I'm gonna get on to you today because you just don't know what it can do for you. That's all. I can't be mad at you. It's my fault. I'm the trainer. You just don't know how powerful this is, and that's why you're not driving it in your organizations. So I'm gonna solve that today, and we're gonna start using this thing. So the numbers at the top simply mean this. In this example, I put 13 new prospects into the application. Of the 13 that I put in, I had to send all 13 something for that to say 13. If I go add Tom Smith and I don't send him anything, it won't move to 14. So you see, these are real numbers. So as leaders, your phone conversations with your teams, your trainings that you do outside of the legacy, when you have your own team calls and little inside accountability calls that you do with your teams, every bit of your language should be involved around two topics. How many exposures are you doing, and what's your engagement percentage? It should be talked about on every single call, because we all agreed before the call started that activity is the most important thing for our businesses. No product is sold without activity, and no one is recruited without activity. So then if that is the case, and it is factual data that is proven that activity is everything, then we must be driving the language of activity amongst our organizations, okay? And so talking about 13 exposures, sent out information, 9 of them in my example looked at the info. So that gave me a 69% engagement. So if I'm working with Twyler and Twyler is coaching me and mentoring me, before she ever gets on a call with me, she's always gonna ask me to do something. Okay, to take a screenshot and send her my numbers, just that little box up right at the top. Because when she gets on a call with me and I'm telling her I want to make 6 figures within Team Legacy, right? And it's the middle of the month and it says that I have 2 exposures. Now, Twyler can be nice about it, but how many of us know that you really just want to go and shake somebody? How are you going to get to 6 figures with 2 exposures on the 15th of the month? That's not even possible. Like I mean, as good as you might think you are, I promise you got to talk to more than 2 people to get to 6 figures. So you see why the language of total exposures and the engagement is so important, because as leaders, it's going to help us not waste time with individuals who are setting goals, but yet not doing the activity. And I mean, waste time. We love them. We can love everybody, but we've got to, if we're all going to be shooting for, and I know many of you on this call are six-figure earners, but we want to turn your six-figure annual check into your monthly check. And some of you that are six-figure a month earners, we want to turn that into 6 figures a week. And some of you that are 6 figures a week, we want to turn it into $1 million a month business, right? That's all of the pathway we're all shooting for. Well, that's only going to happen by one simple thing. There's a lot of things that have to happen, but one simple thing has to start. We must increase activity, guys. We must drive our exposures, all right? So that's what those numbers mean. I could go on and on about it, but I want to get into some of the other good stuff here. So the numbers represent total exposures, how many people look. This is if I click on statistics, it tells me exactly what I just said. 13 exposed, 2 so far this month, 69% engagement. And we want to, here's the number, we want to have our teams all be at 70% or higher. That's the goal, right? So 69 here for me is not bad, but as a coach, I'm going to work to be in the 70. Why? Because that means if you talk to 10 people and 7 are looking, whatever you're saying is a good pitch. Whatever your elevator, your 30-second, it's good enough because you got 7 out of 10 to look. If you're only getting 3 out of 10 to look, then all that's happening is what you're saying is just off, and you need to work with your group, your leader, whoever your leader is that's at above 70, ask them what do they say to people when they meet them, because they obviously say something, because the numbers don't lie, that gets 7 out of 10 to look rather than your 3 out of 10. And you just have to adjust that. And I promise you, with a group your size, a small adjustment of people at 30 and 40% engagement move to 60, 70, and 80, guys, your incomes are going to explode. It's not coincidental. It is factual information. If you increase activity in the follow-up, you're going to increase your check, all right? So the other thing I want to talk about is the resource library. I love what your leadership put together because they kept it simple. So focus on 2 simple avenues. 1 are your incredible products. 2 is your opportunity. People say, well, which way do you lead, Mike? It doesn't matter, right? You follow whatever your mentors have taught you, but at the end of the day, you can't do the right presentation for the wrong person and the wrong presentation for the right person. If somebody's looking, they're looking. If somebody's interested, they're interested. And if not, no problem, because we got a follow-up system that will automatically keep sending them information if they say no. So just know that you have your products here, broke down here to peak, share, and I'll go back through some of this here in a second. And then you have your opportunity, peak, share, follow-up, close. You see, Amazon is very successful, but when you look at Amazon's overall system, it is simple. Simplicity always wins, okay? The more simple you can keep things, the more successful and faster your teams will grow bigger because more people can get it, understand it, turn around and teach it to other people. Duplication is the master secret behind this incredible industry. So you have everything broke down in your library already for you, ready to rock and roll, okay? So now going back to the home screen here, we're gonna stay on the same page, talked about the numbers, clicked on the resource library. That's where everything's housed that you need to send. It's got all your information in there. Statistics, you can click on that to see that. And then campaigns here are what we call the drip effect. And this means that when you meet them and you have their email and you put that in the system, the next question we'll ask you is, do you want to assign them to a campaign? The answer is always yes. Okay, why? Because a campaign is your safety net. The purpose of your campaigns here is so you're building your database and you're focused on those who are signing up as new customers and distributors. When people are not signing up because they have to think about it, they got to talk to their spouse, they got to go to church to pray for it, whatever all the excuses we've heard in the past, say no problem. Let me keep you informed, and you put them in the campaign. The campaign is going to keep them informed. Look at this. Day 1, day 3, day 7, 14, 21. It continues to go down all the way to 175 days. Ladies and gentlemen, there's softwares out there that a small business owner friend of mine paid for, just email drip campaign, $179 a month. $179 a month just for this piece right here. And this is only one of our 25 different features, right? So just keep that in mind as I get to the price point of what value are you getting as a leader by purchasing this app and being a premium user. You're gonna get a lot of value. Excuse me. So we talked about pretty much everything here on the home screen. At the top right corner, you see that there's a 0, it's red, okay? Not a good example for me if I was being on the team right now. I got no hot prospects. I got 0 hot prospects looking at information. But when you start to get prospects to look at info, you're gonna see their names here on the list. Why do you wanna go there first? because they're engaging. They became a hot prospect because our algorithm in the app is automatically reading all of their activity. The more activity they have, the more they become a hot prospect. So it tells you as a distributor, those are the people I should follow up with first. If I'm on my lunch break and I got 20 minutes and I'm scarfing down a sandwich real quick, I could be right on my app following up with those people, all right? And then the last piece down here is my favorite part, and that's the contest leaderboard. Now, part of my training, okay, is this piece right here, number 2. Now, this is my coach coming out. Put my hat backwards now because now it's time to play, all right? We're at halftime, okay, TLC family? We're at halftime. So far, as a team, volume-wise, you guys are exploding. So that means offensively, you're playing good, all right? And you're rebounding, and things are going good. But as your coach, at this halftime, these numbers here on the leaderboard are not gonna get us to our $1 million a month or 100,000 a month. It could maybe get us to 100,000 a year, but we ain't here for 100,000 a year. We're here for more than that. So here's my coach talk to you. Each of you are leaders within your own organizations. And the most important thing in leadership, and we all know this and we can agree on this, is you must lead by example, okay? And leading by example is so important now because you have a software that all your teams can see. So they see that you're not on the leaderboard, okay? So it is important that if you are at 100,000 a year or less, it is mandatory that you're on this leaderboard, okay? Just mandatory. Now, if you're a $500,000 or $1 million a year earner, you may be working in a different fashion, and that's understandable. Not that you're not leading by example, but you're working with 10 people every day and you're working to coach them to get to that level. So I understand that part, okay? But for most of us on this call, we've got to be on the leaderboard, okay? And so each of you, I want to commit that from here on out, if you're not in this top 10, that you will commit to being in the top 10. You will lead by example, because all this leaderboard is telling me is that you're talking to new people and you're sending them information and getting them to look at it. That's all it's telling me. It's not telling me that you're signing them up. It's not telling me you're converting them to a new distributor or customer. That's okay. I don't need to know that back end part. I know that if you do the front end part correctly and enough and consistently and lead by example, the back end will always take care of itself. Always. See, I'm not cocky at all. I left my ego in the United States. When I moved to Mexico, you got no ego because I don't speak Spanish and I need to be humble here and learn. So, but my point is we all have egos, right? Is you've got to realize that if you will teach your organizations to be part of this leaderboard, not just you leading by example, but you identify your top 3, 5, and 10 people on your team and you rally up with them today or tomorrow. You have a coaching call with them and say, guys, Mike talked about us being on the leaderboard as a team. We must lead by example. And I think what will be fun, I'll get with Greg, Lanika, and Twyler one day, and we'll put a contest together where some of you teams compete against each other. You pick your dream team of 5 and this another leader picks theirs. And all of a sudden you start having this camaraderie all based on what? Just new people. You're talking to new people. You don't need any lead gen system. Okay, if I just go to Facebook right now, do you know I could sit here like this for an hour and stroll through my contacts on Facebook and I don't know 70% of those people? How many of y'all agree? You don't know how, you know of them, you know them from school or whatever, but you haven't talked to them in 7 years. And you're over here worried about you can't find people or COVID's got you locked up in the house. Guys, every excuse will do no matter what the rest of your life. Or you become a problem solver and you just fix the problem. And so activity can be solved by just going on social and going through your contact list and reconnecting with new people. Now, don't go right away and put them in the app, right? That's not good networking. Good networking is first to say hello. How are you? How you been? It's been 7 years. Don't let me pitch you on my tea or my CBD just yet, right? I'll get to that in a couple weeks or maybe a couple days. But guys, just say hello to people, okay? And I'll talk about that in my challenge here in a minute. So we talked about leading by example. So all of you are committed now. Drop a 1 in the comments if you are committed to number 1, being on the leaderboard in the top 10, but more importantly, that you as a leader are committed to getting people on your team. You're not seeing enough people on your team and you want to see more, drop a 1. So I know you're serious, okay? And you can know that your leadership's serious. I think Greg and Lanika and Twyla are going to go back and they'll see in the comments, you know, who's serious, who's not. And it helps them identify who they're going to work with, right? That's how you work as leaders, is you just identify who's serious, all right? So number 2 here, teach your brand new folks how to build with the app, okay? And here's one of my favorite parts. We built something very special in the application, and it's a 4-step process. And I want each of you to start teaching this 4-step process to your teams. Why? Because it's the most duplicatable 4-step process in the history of network marketing. There has never been anything more simple that someone could follow without even knowing how to spell the name of the company. Now, it's pretty easy because we go by the initials TLC, so maybe that wasn't a great example, but let's say that they had to know all of the products, okay? They don't know that, they're brand new, but they don't have to know that to get off to a good start and get paid and promoted. Isn't our job as a good sponsor to do one thing, and that is to get a brand new person paid and promoted? That's our job. If we get them paid and promoted, do you think they're going to tell a few more people about it? Sure. Do you think they're going to have a little more belief in the company when they get a paycheck? Absolutely. And do you feel and understand that when they sponsor someone, they're going to teach that same exact thing that you did for them, got them paid and promoted? Well, how do we get people paid and promoted quicker and faster? It's going to follow this system. All right, so here we go. Ready? I'm going to click here. Okay, so let's use this example. I am brand new. Okay, so Larry's my sponsor. And by the way, Larry, if you were my sponsor, you better be able to run, man, because I'm coming in this thing full blaze, man. Y'all got this system set up. If I was brand new today and I had to come on the team, game over, all right? So Larry, check this out. You sponsor me, I'm brand new. We get on a Zoom, we do a game plan interview. You ask me my why, ask me my goals and all of that. And you tell me to pull up my app and go to the button here. And you tell me to import some contacts over. So let's pretend I select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say I select 25 people because I think 25 is a fair number. So now Larry's my sponsor. He got me to download the app. I imported 25 contacts over, and here's my contacts, okay? He's now gonna guide me to go through these contacts. Now, he may not stay on the Zoom with me the whole time and go through all 25, although I don't think that's a bad idea to invest. You know, people say, as a leader, what's good investing your time? 25 brand new people that never heard about your company or products, that's a good investment to stay on with someone and make sure they do those exposures. I promise you, that's a good investment. But you don't need to be. You only have to give them a few minutes to show them how to do this. So here I am, brand new. Larry tells me, Mike, click on James Reed. He's your first contact, okay? Yes, sir. Now, click on send resource. Okay, I can do that. Guys, I'm brand new. I don't know the products. I don't know nothing about the company. I've never done network marketing, and I got 2 jobs. I'm busy. But I got 5 minutes. I'm sitting with Larry, and I can do this. He says, select product, and he says, select peak. And he says, now I want you to send this text message to each of those individuals. Let's just pick 5 right now and send that to them. So here's what the text message says. Hi, James. I started a new project and would love to get your feedback. If I sent you a 1-minute survey, would you let me know your thoughts? Okay. How many of us agree that that is a great soft message that's not pitching them TLC? It's not pitching them network marketing, right? And that's the beauty of what this system does, ladies and gentlemen. The problem with network marketing today, there's not a lot of problems, but there's a few issues that always seem to happen. One is new people go and they puke on their top list. The most valuable list in the history of their marketing data, online marketing opportunity, they go pitch them and they ruin it because they talk about network marketing and people say it's a pyramid scheme. And so now they get discouraged, right? And then they quit, and then they tell you they quit because no one signed up. How many of us have all heard that nonsense before? Well, it's true because that's what they're doing. But if they go with this kind of system and this approach, they now are just asking permission to send a survey on a new project they're working on. The person doesn't know what project it is. They have no idea it's network marketing. Guys, these little nuances are so important for you to start growing your organization into the tens of thousands. Some of you say, Mike, we're doing good. We're recruiting 300, 400 new recruits a month. I go, okay, that's great. I honor that. I respect it. But let's turn that to 300 or 400 a day. Why are we waiting for a whole month to get 300 new people? I want to get 300 new recruits per day, right? So we talk about the pre-written text message. Now I send that to my top 10, 15, 25, 30 people. Of those people, let's say that 50% or more, because they will, but 50% of them say yes, they'll fill out the survey. So now I go here and I send the survey. The survey asks some generic questions, really good ones, by the way, okay? So these questions that get answered by the prospect now fall into the application. Under contacts, if I go down here, and now I click on the prospect's name, and I've just, remember, this is the profile. Everything we talked about, the whole app can be run by the prospect's profile. Everything you need to do is there on this one screen. Invite them to an event, send them a resource, call them directly, make notes about them, make reminders, look at the activity log. See, guys, everything you need except training is on this part here to contact that person. So now, slow down a little bit. I know some of y'all are like, man, he talks fast. Well, I want to make sure I don't keep y'all on here for 3 hours. You got things to do this Saturday. Okay, some of y'all got cocktails to go drink, some barbecue to go hang out with, right? Some of y'all are kid free and you're like, man, get over this thing. I'm taking my woman on a date, Mike, hurry up. So I'm going quick. But this part's important. Now that you've sent the survey and the prospect fills it out, they send it back to you. It's all automated right here. So now in the notes section, here's what different makes a difference between a good networker and a great networker. A great networker listens more and talks less. How many of us, and some of y'all are shaking your head, how many of us knew in high school there was always a kid or two that at the party that sat in the corner and never said much was the one you didn't mess with, right? Y'all knew that because you seen what he did to someone one time before, and y'all like, man, don't mess with Tommy. He don't say much, but don't mess with him because I've seen what he does. Well, Tommy was a great observer. He watched the party, watched his moves and all that. Here, a good networker, if you can't be in person talking to them, a good listener, then you want to be a good listener through this survey. Because the survey questions were answered by the prospect. Check this out, guys. This is how big this is for some of you that didn't get it maybe the first time I was on. The prospect is telling you in the survey that they're interested in your products. They're telling you right there. They are telling you they're interested in making money and they're looking for something else outside of their job. How many of us have ever just sat there and dreamed about the most perfect scenario in the history of network marketing? A bunch of prospects that come into our lives that tell us they want our products and they tell us they want to join our team. It's a dream. So this is what makes a good networker. So you teach your team. So each of you on here you're getting it. I understand that. But I'm talking about teaching your new people. Remember, Larry is sponsoring me. I'm brand new. So now I've sent the survey to my folks and I'm now looking at the questions. Okay, so yep, okay, good. Do you think optimal wellness is currently available for you? Yes. Do you think more financial security is currently? Okay, so I got 2 questions right there that I see that my next message, this is important, okay? The third step, so step 1 is the pre-written text. Step 2 is the survey. Now, step 3 is to go back in here, click on the prospect and send a resource. And that resource is going to be the sizzle video. Okay. So now if I select this, okay, do you see where it says Miles? Okay. The name there. I can go here. Okay. And I can start typing out a message. You see that? So you want to type out this message. Let's say that my prospect's name is Mary. So I would say, hey, Mary, thanks so much for filling out the survey. Okay, I want you guys to catch this. This is so big. Thank you so much for filling out the survey. Based on a few of the questions you answered, it seems to me the project I'm working on might be a great fit for you. Check out this short little video and we'll catch up after you watch it. Don't ask them what they think about it or any of that. Just, we will catch up after you watch it. And you know what the answer is that you get 99.9999999% of the time? The word okay. That's it. Okay, sounds good. Okay, sounds great. Thanks. So you see, you didn't ask permission to send a sizzle video. So do you guys get this? Most network marketing companies that don't have a system like this for you, like you guys do, they go right in and send a sizzle video to their prospect. Hey, this is my new company. Watch this. right? And people get so turned off by that. But when you went pre-written text and you went survey and the person filled the survey out saying that they had interest in what you're doing, you're now going to get more people to actually watch the sizzle video. That is how you increase your engagement, by being a better networker. You're listening to their needs. And I promise they're always going to answer at least one question that's going to allow you to send that kind of message. Okay. So I want to recap, because that was steps 1, 2, 3. And the most important now is 4. So what we talked about is a pre-written text message. Every brand new person that you sign up on your team can do that. Okay. Then you send the survey, review some of the questions, and you send the sizzle video by saying, based on a few of the questions you answered, it looks like the project I'm working on could be of interest to you. Take a look at this short little video and let's chat afterwards. Now you either get a chance to chat with them, or it could be via text. And your whole goal now is to invite them to the next live event. So if I'm here on my contact list, Miles was my person who went through steps 1, 2, and 3. I now go to what I call the golden opportunity. This is your chance to get them in front of the information. How many of us know that if we get someone on a live Zoom, there's a much better chance they're going to sign up as a new customer or distributor, rather than if I'm sitting there trying to talk to them and convince them to join my team. If they see someone's story and they get on this Zoom, they're going to go right here. They go event invite, you, the prospect. Okay, skip for now. And I go here to the calendar. Okay, and let's go pick a date. Doesn't matter what it is. When I select that date, I don't want to do that. Hang on one second, guys. Click here. Okay, event invite. Okay, skip for now. Now, whatever date I select, okay, when we need to we'll get this thing filled up with all the opportunities and stuff for March. I'll put this in my notes right now to make sure we got this. But this calendar will be full of all the events, the Zoom events, all the live events. So then you click on that event and you send that invitation to your prospects that after they watch the sizzle video, they agreed that they would like to get some more info. You invite them to the live presentation. Now you've got them an invitation. When they say yes, they can attend, you'll get a push notification back that tells you that they can attend the event. Now, when they tell you they can attend the event, they show up to the event. Our new feature is finalized. It works good, okay? And the new feature, I'll make sure it's turned on and it's live, is underneath the Zoom video now. Watch this, guys. Whoever's presenting, let's say that Twyla is presenting in an unbelievable presentation, like she always does. She's knocking it out of the park. And you got 7 guests on. Well, now underneath the video, after she's closing it, it will say, buy now, join as a customer, or join Team Legacy and change your financial future. There can be 2 buttons underneath the Zoom video. So now the prospects just click the button and they can sign right up, because it goes to your personal website. I mean, imagine that, guys. So Twyla can actually say, okay, guys, let's take 1 minute. Everyone click the join to be a customer. Everyone see that button underneath? Okay, awesome. Click that. All the guests that are online, click that. So now, boom, it pulls them right up to the website. Now she says, okay, click the right-hand corner. Let's order the detox tea. Everyone, let's start with that. She can actually walk through all of the potential new customers, all the guests that are on the Zoom, and she can get them signed up while she's live on the Zoom. Is that hot or hot? Like, you guys remember, and we'll have some fun here. Y'all remember when we used to have to say, okay, thanks so much for joining the conference call. If you like what you see tonight, make sure you get back with the person who invited you on the call. They try to get back with the person who invited them. They didn't answer for a day or two. They're like, man, this person didn't even respond. I'm trying to text them. I want to join the team. They don't have to worry about that anymore. You can just flood the live Zooms now. It's all cookied back to your personal website. So that piece I will make sure is up, ready, live, and that whole calendar is full for the rest of the month. Okay, that's my project, my job this weekend, to make sure the team does that. All right, guys, I'm going to close out with this. So I talked about that. I talked about this. I'm going to talk about my last piece. Okay. Oh, one more thing for all of you. If you go to the more button down at the bottom right-hand corner, that's where your coaching section is. So you click on coaching. They've got some great tutorials in there. They've got some great trainings. Very good for your new folks to be into that, consistently be promoting back there into the training section. Also, you can contact support if you ever have an issue with the app or any of that kind of stuff. That's on there. The other thing is your settings. When you click on there, you can go in here and you can add your Facebook URL, your Twitter URL. All of those things are important, so you can put that in there and put your profile picture and all that good stuff. But I'm going to close with a heart-to-heart talk with each of you. And I'm going to close with something that I've never shared this in all of my trainings, and I do a lot of them. I have never shared this. I actually put these numbers together right before the call because I was thinking of what can I do to add tremendous value to each of you today, this morning. And I thought of this formula and it started to get me really excited. So check this out. I want each of you right now on a piece of paper, if you're not driving right now, to identify and write down 3 to 5 of your top people on your team that really want to run and grow with you. You just know they're always on calls. They answer your calls. 3 to 5 of your core group. Okay. This is all going to be an activity challenge. So pick those 3 to 5 that you know who are serious and they're in the game. They're in the trenches, as my mentor would always say. So identify those 3 to 5 names. Jot them down real quick. With those 3 to 5 people, after this call today, you're going to try to get on with them, whether it's Zoom or a phone call, quick conference call, but sometime by tomorrow, get on with those 3 to 5 people. And what I want you to let them know is you're inviting them into an activity challenge that Mike recommended to put together for the team from now until the end of the year. It's an activity challenge. So they're going to either say yes or no, they want to do it. And if they don't want to do it, great, go find someone else. 3 to 5 people, lock in those 3 to 5. Now with those 3 to 5 people, you're going to do 2 things. The very first thing you're going to do is commit from today till the end of the month that each of you are going to add 100 new prospects to the app. Okay. 100 people, guys, I can put 100 new people in the app in 15 minutes. So please don't tell me you don't have time or that's too much for you or that's overwhelming. If I gave you $1,000 per person and you had to put in 100 in the next 30 minutes, would you then be able to figure out how to do it? Of course you would, because there's $1,000 to each person. It's worth so much more than $1,000 a person with this formula. Somebody will break a new 6-figure ring earner. Now that person is worth more than 100 grand, not 1,000. So think about this, 3 to 5 people you've identified. Each of you are going to commit and work together every day, communicate via a text message or a little group that you put together that you're going to do your 100 from now to the end of the month. Why? Because if you focus and you flood 100 people into the app from now until the end of the month, it is going to set up this formula and this challenge for you. So come April 1st, can you imagine you have 100 new prospects, okay? And now each of the 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people that you've identified on the team that are going to run with you, they each have their 100. So let's say you and the 3, now at the end of the month, you have 400 new prospects, all right? Now come April, each of you in April commit to doing the same thing, okay? So each of you in April do that, and each of you commit to 100, and each person, so let's say, for example, let's slow down. So Larry identified 3 people on his team that are willing to do the 100. So from now to the end of the month, everyone did their 100. Each of those people in April are going to identify 3 people on their team to go out and do their 100 for the whole month of April, okay? So in the end of April, that turned into 600 exposures, right? So 600 new exposures. Now, some of you you're gonna identify 5 people, so that may turn into 1,000. So anywhere between 600 to 1,000 in the month of April. And then each of those people are going to go out and teach this one little simple thing of identifying 3 to 5 people for the whole month to do 100 exposures, okay? Now, guys, this is not gonna be for your part-time person that's looking to make $100 a month with TLC and pay their car insurance. That's not what this is for. This is for the group that wants to get to 6 figures a month, or the group that is not at 6 figures a year and they want to get to 6 figures a year. Okay, this is for the players. All right, so don't go get your part-time people making 500 a month and blow them out of the business because they're not doing their 100. Let them be. We love them. We hold them, massage them, and tell them they're great. We're talking about the players that want to do this. So now here we go. Month May, that 600 turns to 1,200 or to 2,000 if you had 500. June, it turns to 2,400 to 4,000, somewhere in that ballpark. That's your little team that you started with just 3 people, okay, has now turned into, by June, almost 4,000 exposures in 1 month. Not the accumulative, not all the back exposures, right? So then July is 4,800 to 8,000. Then you come August, September, October. I want to get into November. Why do I want to get to November? If you guys and ladies on this call can make sure I'm correct, the day after Thanksgiving, do y'all get some sales going through your organization? Do y'all get some sales going through at the day after Thanksgiving, or now it's like at midnight at Thanksgiving, right? It's your biggest, some of y'all, it's your biggest day of the year. So if you could imagine, okay, I'm talking about catapult by the month of November, with each of you just getting 3 people committing to the 100, them getting their 3 committing to the 100, by November, it's close to around 80,000 exposures in 1 month. Okay, think about this. In November, right up until Thanksgiving, about 80,000 people have been exposed to your opportunity. All right. Now moving to December, what a great month to close out the year, to hit your goal. Somewhere between 150 to 300,000 exposures. Okay. Now think about this. Of those 300,000 exposures, all you did was start with you and 3 people, and that thing started to grow. Now 50% of those people out of the 300K, only 50% even looked at the info. 150,000 people never looked at it. I'm being fair to you, right? 50% don't look at it. So now you had 150,000 people in December that have looked at information. 25%, how many of us agree that your products are good enough that 25% of people will convert to a customer? There's no question about it, right? 25% is a fair number. You have good products. So if 25 convert, that's 37,500 new customers. Raise your hand if I get an amen. 37,500 new customers. All you did was commit on a call today that you're going to do your 100 and you're going to find 3 people on your team to do 100 with you. That's all you started with, to get 37,000 new customers. But how many of us want to know that 5%, just 5% of the 37,000 is 1,875 people to join your team and to be active, not just join the team. We'll get a lot more to join. Active, meaning that they are marketing a couple products a month. So you brought on 1,800 new distributors who are selling product on top of the 37,500 new customers. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited for you. I'm excited because do you know what that will do to your team, to your organization? But do you know what it will do to Greg, Lanika, and Twyler's organization? You will be the top network marketing team in the industry. You will have the fastest growing story in the whole industry. You will be the fastest growing, one of the fastest growing companies. You already are, but you'll be 10x what you are now. You guys will, I'm telling you right now, someone like Eric Worre will be picking up the phone, calling, asking what is going on, because he didn't teach you none of this, and he doesn't have to. All we're teaching you is that activity is so important that if you focus on getting a few people to drive 100 exposures for the whole month, that you can end up in the next 6-7 months with 37,000 new customers. So guys, I'm going to just close out right here. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Okay. I'm right at the top of the hour where I want to be. And I want you to all, and I mean only if you're serious, okay? And please, if you're not serious, don't put it in the comments, okay? But if you are serious, okay, just put a 100. That means that you personally are committed to your 100. Even if you can't get the 3, no matter what, you're committed to your 100. And what you're gonna see here, look at these numbers come through. Okay, there's already 1,000. There's 2,000. There's 3,000. You got 3,000 exposures. Okay, already 4, 5. So you see what I'm going? This is it. This is the secret. So going back and just recapping my whole training, we want all of you, each of you on the call, to lead by example, be on the leaderboard. I believe that leaderboard in the next 24 hours is going to look like a complete different leaderboard, because now you guys are getting it. You're serious, you're in. So all of us commit to being on the leaderboard. Second piece is all of us get as many people on our team to all focus on being on that leaderboard for the contest. The third level is for each of us to get new people started properly. All new people who come on the team, get them to import contacts, send the pre-written text, the survey, the sizzle video, and get them on a live Zoom. We'll convert them from the Zoom. And then we want the last piece is for all of us high-level leaders here to identify 3 to 5 people on our team and call it the 100 Club. Are you part of the 100 Club? Hashtag 100. right? Create this campaign, #100, and get people behind this mission. And I promise you, each of you will look back over the next 90 days, the next 6 months, and come December, you will not even recognize your business. It's not theory. It's not Mike getting on here and hyping you guys up. I don't do hype. Hype would mean that I didn't pull up some document and show you something. I pulled up a system that shows you the numbers on the back end that I, as a corporate guy here at Rapid Funnel, where I'm at, I can see and know that if that type of activity happens, you're going to convert 37,500 new people to customers. That is real numbers. Man, I could just see the money coming in. Oh, the blessing is that. And then think about this. I know all of you are tied to something, charity, your church, or whatever. Think about what that ripple effect does, all based on #100, Club 100. We're all getting in that. So on behalf of myself and my team, thank each and every one of you, Greg, Lanika, Twyler. It's always an honor. It's a privilege to be part of this organization, to be with you guys. You have a beautiful family here, and let's go take this industry by storm. Thank you guys so much. And Sonia, back over to you.
Wow, wow. Well, listen, guys, I want everybody in the chat, guys, do some hand claps for our incredible trainer, Mr. Mike Fetty. Mike, you did an amazing job. And like you said, you never bring hype, you just give authentic truth. We're excited all over again by using this app. We are committed as a husband and wife. We're going to do our part, #100. So thank you so much for what you brought today, guys. Listen, if you do not have this app, go to your app store and download Rapid Funnel. The code is BFYL. We encourage you guys to go ahead and get the app. Go ahead and get it today. It's only $19.95 a month, guys. Listen, we spend that on stuff we don't even know what we spend it on, okay? So let's invest in ourselves if we want to be a part of just what you heard Mike say. Whatever your number is, listen, guys, to get to be a 6-7 figure on whatever your goal is, but let's get the app. Let's utilize the app. Mike, the training was incredible. Thank you for taking out your time. I know you living your best life there in Mexico. So for you to take out your time today, we certainly appreciate you. And guys, listen, before we close out, guys, make sure you commit to yourself. If you are serious, go ahead and get the app today if you don't have the app already. Download Rapid Funnel. The code is BFYL because it's going to actually